Hello, and welcome to another micro video from the American Institute of Physics. Today's presentation is entitled Stepping Off the Tenure Track and is sponsored by the American Institute of Physics, the American Association of Physicists in Medicine, the American Association of Physics Teachers, AVS Science and Technology, Physics Today, and the Society of Physics Students. In today's presentation, we're going to talk about what tenure track positions are and why you might and might not want to pursue one for your career. We'll talk about how to decide if that's right for you or not and what the alternatives are. So what is a tenure track position? Many people go to graduate school because they love research, they love doing experiments, and they want to spend a lot of time in the lab. While in graduate school, they're surrounded by professors with tenure track positions. And so that seems like an obvious next step, an obvious place for their career to go. But sometimes they don't really stop to think about what's actually involved in those kinds of positions and what tasks are involved in that job and if that really is a good fit for them. University professors spend their time doing three things: teaching, research, and service. Teaching includes everything in the classroom and some things out of the classroom. So this includes things like preparing lectures, writing notes, writing tests, grading, giving the lectures, answering questions, dealing with the students, all those things that are going to be teaching both undergraduate and graduate students usually about physics and more about the world out there. The second main component of a tenure track position is research. So this is conducting basic scientific research, learning more about how the world works, exploring basic fundamental scientific questions. So this includes sometimes running the experiments, sometimes supervising other people who are running the experiments, doing the thinking ahead of time to decide which experiment should be done. It includes writing grant proposals to get the funding to pay those students and to buy the equipment to do those experiments. So teaching and research together usually take up the majority of a professor's time. However, there's another piece to a university professor position, and that is service. And this is going to be service to either the university or service to the community in general. So this can include working on committees, so serving on committees for the university, serving on committees for the department if it's a large department, maybe doing outreach. A professor at a community college may go and do outreach to the local community to try to reach people who it has not occurred to them to go to college. All professors are going to do all three of these kinds of things, but the proportions of each things are going to be different at different kinds of institutions. So at an R1 research intensive university, you're going to spend a lot more time on research and getting those research results out than you would at a primarily undergraduate institution where you don't have graduate students, you're only working with undergrads. And a lot of the purpose of the research is to teach those undergraduates how to do research. So it's not so much about the results of the research, but it's about, are the students learning how to do research, and are the students doing research that they can then share and they can publish and they can talk about. But one of the great things about graduate school and undergraduate school is that you have a front row seat to watch what a tenure track professor really does. So you can watch what your professors are doing, how they spend their time, what they like, what they don't like. Maybe you can even help them a little bit. So could you offer to teach a class when they're out of town? Could you offer to help with grading? Could you answer student questions during problem-solving sessions or run office hours to get an idea for how you like interacting with students? So what parts of the job could you try out to really get a feel for how you might like that particular position? Tenure track positions are highly competitive. There are lots of people who want to get them, so the universities can afford to be very picky in who they choose. So if that's what you want, you need to take some time and do some market research, see how well you would do in that particular job market. This will tell you how competitive you are in that market and if a tenure track position is really a realistic thing for you to expect. And then think about what the timeline is that you're working on. If you're in a postdoc, does your advisor have the funding to keep you another year so that you can go through another round of applications and try for a tenure track position? Or is your funding about to end, and so you really need to find a position soon? So in addition to finding out more about what exactly a tenure track position requires, and if this is something that you seem to be qualified for and are really interested in, take some time to explore the alternatives. There may be lots of things out there that are perfect for you that you would love, but you just haven't heard of them yet. So go out and talk to people and find out what they do. Talk to former lab mates, people who graduated ahead of you, either in your undergraduate school or in your graduate school, and find out where they're working now, what they're doing, what do they like, what do they not like. You can also work as a professor at a community college. So a 2-year school where you may only teach very basic courses, and you may be working with a lot of students who are the first in their family to go to college. So there's a lot of other advising and other types of information that you need to get to them. But that can also be very rewarding, helping people get to college where no one in their family has ever done that before. There's many, many more jobs out there that you've never heard of than there are jobs that you have heard of. So the more people you can talk to, the more things you can find out about, the faster you will get to the position that is right for you. There are advantages and disadvantages to doing it each way, so use your network. Find people who work directly for the federal government and people who work at contracting agencies. Talk to them, find out what they like and don't like, not only about the particular job they're doing, but about the way their employment is handled with their particular organization. Think about what they're saying and what appeals to you, what they like, maybe something that you wouldn't like, and vice versa. So make sure to think about how this appeals to you. Very often, the easiest way to get into the federal government is to go in as a postdoc. And once you're in, it's much easier to move around to different positions. Ask yourself, what do other people think I'm good at? What are the kinds of questions that other people come to me with? Am I the person in the lab who can fix any piece of equipment? If something breaks, I'm the go-to person that they ask to come fix it. And then think about your personal values. What is important to you? You can do all kinds of online searches and find lists of different personal values, but you want to think about what is important to you right now at this stage of your life. What matters to you? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Start thinking about, what is it that you really enjoy doing? What is really fun? What is it that you really want out of a position? And then what kinds of positions might give you that? Once you've collected all this information, conduct an honest gap analysis. Look at yourself, your skills, your abilities, the knowledge that you have, and how does that match the job or the career that you've decided you wanted to go for? What is it that you're missing? You will also, in addition to learning how to do whatever this thing is that you're missing, you will also gain real-world experience that you can then put on your resume and CV, so you will be a stronger candidate for these particular positions. So set a goal for yourself. By when are you going to have this done? When are you going to take the class? When are you going to be able to tell people, yes, I know how to do this? So career development is almost always seen as important, but it's not always urgent. It's always, I know I need to work on my career, think about what I want to do long-term, work on those skills, work on my network, but I can do it tomorrow. It's not really urgent. I don't have to do it today. So take some time now while you have the resources, while you're not in that panic trying to find your next job, and think about what can you do? What resources do you have? How you can take advantage of them to figure out what it is you want to do and how you're going to get there. So in the end, you want to find the career path and the current job that's right for you, what matches your knowledge, your skills, your personal values, and what works for you at this point in your life. It may be a tenure track professorship, it may be something completely different, but whatever's right for you is the right thing for you to do. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you found it useful. If you'd like to read a more in-depth discussion of this topic, please check out the full article, Stepping Off the Tenure Track, at this link. You can also look forward to the next video in the Career Network Career Advice series, coming soon.